LeBron James made 8 straight finals and 10 finals overall. And on paper, that looks like straight-up dominance. No debate, right? But Vince Carter just stepped out and basically said the whole thing is fake. And before you wave this off as some salty hater talk, you gotta hear what he actually brought to the table.
I don't care how good they is right now. It's a whole different ball game, bro. With somebody holding on your shorts the whole way to the basket.
And it's legal. And it's legal.
Come on, man.
When you run through the paint and you can get bumped, it's different. And that's my argument with people. It's like, it ain't no disrespect to anybody because they're all great. And you're going to argue back and forth and everybody's going to have their opinion. But I'm saying, which rules are we using?
Carter didn't come with vibes or feelings. He came with math, history, and cold numbers that flip everything you thought you knew about LeBron's legacy completely upside down. This isn't about whether Carter had the nerve to say it. The real question is whether you're ready to actually hear it. Early 2025 rolls around, and Vince Carter shits down for what everyone assumes is just another dry retirement interview. Nothing spicy, nothing wild. Then, somebody asks him about LeBron's place in basketball history, an easy setup for a safe, respectful answer. Instead, Carter lights the whole thing on fire, right there on camera. "I respect LeBron," Carter starts, sounding like he's about to play it safe, but then he keeps going and says, "But let's be real about what we're calling dominance here." And that's when the room changes instantly. Carter doesn't hesitate. He says that Eastern Conference from 2011 to 2018 wasn't dominance at all. It was a highway with no traffic. The interviewer freezes, looking like he just heard something he wasn't supposed to hear.
we got the
What's up, Tar Heel?
VC, what's up, my dog? You know, all right?
Everything. Yeah, man, I'm good. You know.
Carolina soccer girls team.
Yeah,
shout out
man.
to them. Get another natty.
Shout out to the soccer team. Yes,
number
sir.
22 for the women's soccer team.
Oh, okay.
Running them up.
Okay.
Don't just say it like that. Just don't say it like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I mean, wow, that's life-changing. I'll go home and write about it. Thank you.
How about the Florida Gators, number 9th in the country in Florida in men's basketball?
Did he really just say that? And Carter isn't done. He leans in and adds that LeBron's path to those finals wasn't just manageable, it was one of the easiest runs to multiple finals in NBA history. Clips from the interview explode online within hours. Social media turns into a battlefield. Fans go crazy, calling Carter everything under the sun. But here's the twist. Behind the scenes, a lot of former players quietly agreed with him. They just didn't want the backlash that comes with saying it out loud. And here's why this hits harder than opinion. Carter didn't just talk, he brought receipts. Yes, LeBron made 8 straight finals from 2011 to 2018, something nobody had ever done before. It sounds unreal, until you look at who he actually had to beat. The Eastern Conference during those years wasn't just weak, it was historically bad in ways that are hard to exaggerate. In multiple seasons, the second-best team in the East wouldn't have survived the first round in the West. Some wouldn't even make the playoffs. When you break down the numbers, it gets uglier. Across that 8-year stretch, only a handful of Eastern Conference playoff teams even hit 55 wins total. And once you see that, Carter's point hits way different. Meanwhile, the Western Conference was absolutely stacked year after year. We're talking non-stop 55-plus win teams, real contenders everywhere, and legit championship squads getting knocked out in the first round like it was nothing. That's the part people love to ignore.
Well said. That's well said. And that's what I said, because you're going to always ruffle feathers. If you're a diehard Bron fan, you think it's disrespect when you say otherwise about him, Cole, and Mike. So that's just, it's going to be an ongoing battle because unless they ever played against each other. Just imagine them playing against each other.
Whew. So for the record, you got MJ, Kobe, and then LeBron?
Yes.
Can LeBron, in your opinion, with LeBron's maybe 2-3 years left, maybe 4, does he have an opportunity in your mind to possibly jump Kobe?
He has an opportunity.
LeBron's Miami years from 2011 to 2014 make this crystal clear when you really look at who his real competition was. The Celtics were old and breaking down piece by piece. The Pacers were solid, no doubt, but they weren't beating the Spurs, Thunder, or Warriors in a 7-game series, not even close. Out west during those same years, it was pure chaos. San Antonio was still running in full dynasty mode. Oklahoma City had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook both in their absolute primes, moving reckless and unstoppable. Every single playoff series in the West was a war. Championship-level teams were eliminating each other long before they ever sniffed the finals. Spurs beating the Thunder in 7, Warriors taking down the Spurs in 6. And let's be honest, those same teams would have walked through the Eastern Conference without breaking a sweat. That's why Vince Carter's words hit way different than some loud TV talking head. Carter actually played in both conferences, so he's not guessing or theorizing, he lived it. He felt the difference in his body night after night, and when he moved from East to West, it felt like stepping into a completely different game. Western Conference road trips were brutal in ways East players just didn't experience back then.
I want to get your take on LeBron because you've played against him since he was a young pup. What's the biggest difference of him then and now in terms of how he just keeps getting better?
Dedication. He has goals in mind, what he wants to accomplish, and it's clear that he wants to be the greatest. You know, when he's saying, you know, I want to play so many years, like I'm saying, I want to play as long as I can. Mm-hmm. He wants to be the greatest. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, those are people that we throw around. He wants to be there.
One night you're battling in San Antonio. Next you're flying to Portland, then down to Los Angeles, then over to Phoenix. And every stop had a legit contender waiting to test you. Compare that to Eastern Conference road trips during LeBron's run. You'd see Miami or Cleveland, then run into teams like the Pacers or Hawks. Decent playoff squads, sure, but nowhere near championship level. The physicality was different too, and it forced you to lock in every single night. Memphis would beat you up in the paint and make every bucket painful. San Antonio would slice you apart with precision. The Thunder would overwhelm you with raw athletic power. Out east, teams were mostly just trying to figure out how to survive LeBron's super teams, not how to actually win titles. Carter kept it simple when he said the West was where championships were really decided, and that the finals were just a formality most years because we already knew the best team was coming from the West. That line hit hard for a reason. And LeBron's supporting cast only makes this narrative look worse. In 2011, he didn't just join a good team. He built a full-blown super team in Miami with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, both in their prime, both all-stars, both capable of leading squads on their own. That wasn't chemistry luck. That was an overwhelming force designed to steamroll whatever stood in the way. And in the Eastern Conference, it worked exactly as planned. Nobody could match that firepower. The Celtics' big three were aging out. The Bulls had one star before injuries wrecked everything, and everyone else was just hoping to steal a game or two. When LeBron went back to Cleveland, it was more of the same. Kevin Love gets brought in, Kyrie Irving grows into a full-blown co-star, and suddenly the Cavs have 3 all-stars in their prime, while most East teams were lucky to have 1. Out West, though, totally different story. The Spurs didn't rely on a super team. They ran a system built on fundamentals and trust. The Warriors built their dynasty through the draft, developing Curry, Thompson, and Green from the ground up into monsters. And that contrast says everything. The Thunder drafted their core and grew them together piece by piece. These teams were battling each other with balanced rosters, real competition, and no built-in cheat codes. Every night was a straight dogfight. Carter didn't sugarcoat it at all when he said LeBron stacked the deck in a weak conference. That's not dominance, that's strategy. And yeah, it worked perfectly, but let's not pretend it's the same grind players in the West were dealing with every single night. This is where the convo gets uncomfortable fast for LeBron fans. What if LeBron spent his prime years in the Western Conference instead? Would he still make 10 finals? 8 straight? Carter doesn't think so. And once you break down the matchups, it's hard to poke holes in his logic. Picture LeBron's Miami Heat in the West from 2011 to 2014. First round, they're staring down the Memphis Grizzlies, a straight-up physical war where every bucket hurts. You survive that, and now it's round 2 against either the Spurs or the Thunder, 2 championship-level teams with completely different nightmares waiting for you. One series, you're dealing with Tim Duncan's fundamental perfection and Greg Popovich slicing you up with chess move coaching. Next series, you're trying to slow down Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook at full speed in their absolute prime. No breathers, no easy outs. Let's say you somehow survive both wars. Now you're in the Western Conference Finals facing the Warriors as they're turning into a dynasty, or the Clippers Lob City at full power. That's a gauntlet, not a runway. Now compare that to what LeBron actually faced in the East. First-round matchups included teams like the Charlotte Bobcats, the Milwaukee Bucks before Giannis arrived, and overmatched rosters just happy to be there. Second round, maybe the Pacers or Bulls without Rose. Conference finals, Hawks or Raptors teams that everyone watching knew weren't true title threats. And here's the part nobody likes talking about. When LeBron finally moved to the Western Conference with the Lakers, the results spoke loud. Year one, he missed the playoffs entirely. 8 straight finals in the East, then he goes west and doesn't even make it in his first season. The competition level instantly backed Carter's argument. The reaction to Carter's comments was pure chaos, exactly like you'd expect. Social media went nuclear. LeBron's fan base showed up in full defense mode, and they were heated. Vince Carter's just mad he never won a ring became the lazy response repeated over and over. Things got personal fast, and the real point flew right over their heads. What LeBron defenders didn't see coming was how many people started agreeing with Carter once they heard the full breakdown. Former players and longtime analysts began speaking up quietly. The generational divide showed itself instantly. Younger fans who grew up watching LeBron couldn't handle the idea that his accomplishments might need context. Older fans who watched Michael Jordan fight through stacked eras, who saw Kobe survive the Western Conference gauntlet year after year, they were nodding along the whole time. Even current and former players started showing support in subtle ways. Likes on certain posts, vague interview comments, careful wording that said enough without saying it outright. The message was loud and clear. Carter didn't say anything wild. He just said out loud what a lot of people in the NBA have been thinking for years. One veteran told a reporter anonymously, and his words said it all. He said, "It's crazy that we can't even have this conversation without people losing their minds. Vince is right, and everybody knows it, but nobody wants to admit it because the LeBron brand is too powerful to challenge." And that leads straight to the question everyone keeps dodging. Does this actually change how we look at LeBron's legacy? This is where things get real uncomfortable, because if you accept Carter's argument, then a full reassessment has to happen. 10 finals appearances sounds legendary, and in one sense it is, but 8 of those runs came through a conference that couldn't truly compete with the West in any serious way. Carter's whole point is that context is everything. When you really break down legacy, the path matters just as much as the destination. Look at Michael Jordan. He won 6 championships, but he had to survive the bad boy Pistons beating him up year after year. He had to go through physical Knicks teams and tough Pacers squads led by Reggie Miller. There were no shortcuts in the 90s. Both conferences were brutal. Now look at Kobe Bryant in the 2000s. To even reach the finals, he had to survive a Western Conference packed with championship-level teams every single year. The Spurs were running a dynasty. The Suns were playing beautiful basketball with Steve Nash. Getting out of the West already meant you proved you were the best team in the league. LeBron's path from 2011 to 2018 looks completely different. Most playoff runs, he faced maybe 1, sometimes 2 real championship-level teams before the finals, and in several years he faced 0 teams that could realistically beat him. The competition was so thin that fans were predicting Heat versus Cavaliers finals matchups before the playoffs even tipped off. Vince Carter cracked open a door a lot of people wanted sealed shut forever. He forced a conversation that makes fans uncomfortable because it challenges a clean, easy narrative. When someone asked Carter if he regretted his comments, his answer was simple and direct. "Why would I regret telling the truth about what we all watched happen?" He said the Eastern Conference from 2011 to 2018 was weak, and that's not an opinion, it's an observable fact. LeBron's 8 straight finals was significantly easier than what players in the West were battling through every single year. And when we talk about legacy and greatness, context matters just as much as raw accomplishments. LeBron is one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball. Nobody serious is denying that. But if we're going to crown him as the absolute best, then we've got to be honest about every part of the story. That includes dominating a weak conference for nearly a decade. That includes avoiding the Western Conference gauntlet until his prime years were already slipping away. This debate isn't over, it's just getting started. Does dominance count the same if the path was historically easy? Should greatness be judged only by results, or does difficulty matter when we compare legends? Vince Carter made sure these questions can't be ignored anymore. If this breakdown got you thinking, make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more real basketball conversations like this. Drop your thoughts in the comments and keep it real.